Everybody, welcome back to the Factory Reset podcast, where we discuss a whole bunch of things that'll hopefully help you improving your journey in martial arts and a whole bunch of other areas, fitness, nutrition, and just lifestyle stuff. So on this video today, we are discussing something that we get a lot questions wise, and we have a lot of individuals who come into our gym and they specifically say, and you know, this is very common throughout probably every gym and every industry, is that they're so busy that the amount of hours that they have, they want to make the most of, all right? So whether they have kids at home, a very demanding job, all of the different things that actually affect our lives that make training kind of a luxury, but something that you really want to get the most out of the time that you're spending in it. This video is kind of where we're going to be discussing a lot of those tactics and a lot of the things that you can be doing to actually make it so your training isn't wasted. The limited hours that you have in class are actually spent doing the things that are actually getting you progress.
Yeah.
All right. So I know that.
But I do want to chime in
right
off the bat that even if you go into the gym and you don't feel like your training was optimized, you're still doing better than not showing up.
That's true. That's true. However, it doesn't feel like that.
I'm maybe not at the time, but I'm just saying, change that mindset just a little bit to say that it doesn't have to be 100% on every single day for it to be the best day ever.
And honestly, hit that like button right now if you don't want Cassie to be the boss of you. All right, so if you want to let that mindset ruin your training and you just want to sit in your anger, hit that like button to say, you're not the boss of me, Cassie. I'll do what I want and I'll have whatever mindset I want. So I say it all the time. It actually is so validating to be like, you know what, you're not the boss of me. I'll do what I want. And if I want to be miserable and upset right now and I want to have a bad training experience, I'm going to have one.
All right, fine. You do you.
So, all right. So to begin with this, like I mentioned, we get a lot of people who have that feeling, and we get a lot of either feedback or comments about it from individuals saying specifically, it's like, hey, you know, I have a new baby at home. I have 2 kids. One has soccer, one has football. I'm only able to come in once to twice a week. How do I make the most out of my training? Okay, so we have 5 different items right here that are going to be very crucial for you to actually make the most out of your training. And I'm going to be leaning on Cassie a little bit as well, because from the fitness aspect as well, a lot of these have overlaps, and I know you've probably seen it from your clients.
You can't lean on me when you just told me I'm not the boss of you.
All right, so from here on out, this camera right here will be the only one that is being filmed with. Cassie doesn't exist in this video anymore. All right, she's no longer here. All right, but so the first one, and this is the one that you've probably heard me say in a lot of different videos, is what is your goal? All right, and everybody's going to turn off the video. Oh, Rick's going to talk about goals again. Hey, turn off the video now. No, hold on. There's a lot more, and some of the other ones you might find more benefit out of, so stick around for those ones. But the first one is goal, and the reason I say goal is because predominantly as a coach, and I've been coaching for a very long time and I've been training for even longer, the majority of people who train and come in, especially new people, don't have any idea or are very, very like a non-well-defined idea of why they're doing it, right? It's like, oh, I'm training just to get in better shape. Well, what the hell does that mean? It's like round is a shape. Everybody's heard that joke.
Well, they want to be better round.
They want to be more round.
Leave them alone.
More well round.
Well round.
So what is the goal? Are you trying to lose weight? Well, how much weight are you trying to lose? Okay. Well, I'm learning for self-defense. Okay. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean that against somebody who is a little hobbit that I can fight them? You know, or does that mean that because I work a security job at my church, which we have a few of those right now, that when an individual comes in who is being unruly and or a child is going crazy on the playground and beating up other children, that I need to have the ability to deal with that. Now, as far as the children goes, you're on your own. I don't know what to do with that. But maybe spray them with water or something.
I'll say,
Get a hose.
I'm training for self-defense against my 5-year-old.
Right? That's what I mean. It's what I mean. It's like, get a hose, right? Get a little spray hose and be like, no. Maybe a newspaper. But
doesn't work.
That's a very, very crucial thing, because if you don't know what you're training for, how do you know whether or not you're being successful? It's like what gets measured gets achieved. That's an old statement or an old saying that's been around for a long time, but it's so true, because if you can't measure what it is that you're trying to achieve, how do you know if you're making progress to it? And it's like, I know Cassie has a very big dislike for the scale in weight loss, and it's well-founded, right? Because honestly, you could be making significant gains in the mirror, so leaning out, whatever, but because you're putting on more muscle, the scale doesn't change, and then people get obsessive over it, and then they start having bad, more or less, what is it? What would you call it?
Well, they just get hyper fixated on it. And so a lot of times we fall into the category of we start weighing ourselves every single day.
Getting like neurotic about it, right?
And we get like
obsessive.
super stressed and anxious over the fact that we just gained a pound, when in reality, overnight, you never gain a pound. It's just a
Water
plethora of
fluctuations.
different situations that have happened that have caused that. Sometimes it'll go up 2 or 3 pounds overnight, and people like freak out. It's typically women, but yeah.
Yeah, throughout a whole bunch of different factors.
But it's just normal, and I just don't like to.
And it's not permanent.
Correct.
And that's
and
the biggest thing, is it's not permanent. It's okay. It's if like you look at like a sound wave. All right. If you look at a sound wave and then you put a trend line over a sound wave, and maybe we'll put up the graphic of that. I'll ask our editor to put up the graphic of that.
Find a sound wave graphic.
Find a sound wave and put a trend line over the top of it, because the sound wave looks like this, right? It's a very I'm trying to think of a non-scientific way to describe it, but it's just basically a bunch of mountains, right? So it's a bunch of mountains. But if you create a trend line going up it, or down it, or across it, you have a level flat line, and we call that noise, right? So you have a lot of noise. It's fluctuations within your metrics, right? But as long as you're trending the right way, you look at a stock graph, like a stock market graph, you'll see ups, downs, ups, downs, ups, downs, but then you see, how is the stock trending? Somebody puts a line and says, oh, the stock over the last month is trending up, okay? We have a lot of dips and peaks and dips and peaks, but everything is trending up, and that's how weight loss is. But that's how your training is too, all right? You're gonna have days where you feel like the nail, all right? You're gonna go in there and be like, yep, some days I'm the hammer, some days I'm the nail, but you're trending upward, all right? You're still getting better. You're still improving your skills. But the thing is that if you're not measuring those kind of benefits and those improvements, you'll never see them.
Yeah.
And we go back to the weight loss thing. It's like, if you haven't seen a friend in like 3 months, but you've been working on your weight loss, you may not notice it because you look at yourself in the mirror every day and you don't notice the subtle changes. But after somebody who hasn't seen you in 3 months sees you, like they're like, oh, you've lost so much weight. And you're just like, really?
You're like, no, I haven't.
It's like, I don't feel like I've lost anything. And you're just like, but that's how it is.
Yeah. But goals also don't have to be weight related. They can be skill related.
No, yeah. I'm just using the weight as an example, because it's a very easy example.
But sometimes we get hyper fixated on that should be our goal. And so people are like, well, I don't want to lose weight. Like, what other goals are there for me? And learning a new move, perfecting a move, lifts.
And that's actually going to go into our second one.
In the CrossFit world, lifts, like,
am I adding weight to my lift?
Yeah, getting better at...
Am I getting stronger?
Any of your lifts, or getting faster at specific things. Like, can I tap somebody out faster than the day before, or the week before, or the month before, or whatever, right?
And that brings up, honestly, a very good point, and I'm going to use myself as a bad example of how this happened to me. Is I was lifting weights, and I enjoy lifting weights. It's like, for me, it's like therapeutic. I just put on my headphones, I listen to a podcast, or I listen to some music, try to turn off my brain, and I just lift weights. It's one of those things, because martial arts used to be an outlet for me. It's not an outlet anymore for me, because I teach and because I coach and I run it as a business. So it's turned into work for me. And not that I don't like it. Like, I still love it, but when you do something that has been a passion, and then you create a business out of it, it takes away a lot of the stress relief, and outlet that you used to have with it. So I turned kind of into weightlifting for that. And one thing that I was running into for a long time is, because I'm not a a very educated weightlifter. So somebody recently told me the word hypertrophy. I still don't know what that means. But all I know is I try to pick heavy things up and I try to put heavy things down and I try to make myself really sore and tired. All right, that's what I know about weightlifting. Okay, so somebody in the comments tell me what hypertrophy means. But I think it's just like, anyway, I'm not going to even try because everybody's like about to flip over tables right now. But here's the thing. I had dedicated lifts that I would do, bench press, squats, deadlifts, things like that. And I would have known weights that I would put on it. Okay, so 2 plates for this, 3 plates for this, whatever. And the thing is I never felt like I was making progress. And the reason, so I would go months and literally it would be 2 plates on bench. 3 plates on deadlift, or 4 plates on deadlift, or 2 plates on 2.5 plates on squats, or whatever. And I would always put that on there, and I would always feel the same effect. And the reason that I wasn't making any improvement is because I started having to force myself to put more weight on, and really I still felt tired with 2 plates, all right, but it didn't feel like I could do more than 2 plates. But then I would put 2 plates on and I'd throw on some 10s. I'd be like, all right, I'm just going to do the best I can to get this moving. All right. And then I would move it and I'd be like, oh, I could actually move that. And then I would always say, okay, 2 plates and 10s now. All right. And then you would add 5s. Like, oh, and then you start seeing yourself growing strength.
Yeah.
Because the things that you don't think that you can do or that you feel like is your limit, you just keep going, what if I push past this? Well, what if I try to go past this? But it's the same thing in jiu-jitsu. It's the same thing in Muay Thai. It's like, well, what if I spar this extra round? Well, this person's a higher belt and they try to tap me. Well, what if I just keep my elbows in and I try not to let them tap me this time with this specific technique? They may catch me with something else.
Yeah.
But this is my thing and this is how I'm going to push past my previous limit. Instead of creating a limit and making it your identity, make that limit something that you're always like, how can I get past this? How can I stack weights onto this?
How can I change it?
How can I change this?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one of the best pieces of advice I can give as far as growing from that perspective. Just because I myself was a, self-made victim of that perspective. So the second one, and this one goes into that, is recording. All right, I have this little cool notebook right here. All right. This is a little digital notebook, and it has all of the notebooks that you want to make saved into it. I used to have paper notebooks. I would have, you can ask Cassie, stacks and stacks and stacks of paper notebooks.
That's true.
All over the place, and I started just consolidating everything into this digital notebook, and it's so awesome. It's called a Remarkable, but if you want to look it up, I find it super helpful. But the thing about recording is, it goes back to the goals. Right? It's your metrics. It's like if you record every single day how you performed, how you felt, and you make a log of it, you're going to have a way to track not only your progress, but also to identify the things that are holding you back.
Yeah.
Right? So
in the respect of recording, you can kind of use it like journaling, honestly. Something at the end of your training, either before you go home, maybe in your car, before you walk in, after you've driven home and you've had time to think about it, or even just like right before bed, which is something that I preach on the nutrition side, is to journal or find ways to calm your brain, release some of the stress, anxiety, and reflection is actually a really good way to do that.
So Cassie's going at it from a little bit of a different perspective than I'm saying. No, I'm not a bad perspective. I know she's already laughing because she thinks I'm going to be making fun of her.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad perspective. But there's 2 different ways to do it, right? So you have the mental health version, which is extremely important. But then you have the more metric-based version. So we have.
Well, in your journaling, it can still be metric-based. Like today, I this and so
I ate this and I felt like crap.
Well, it can be that, but but like when you reflect on your training, you can be specific. Like journaling can be as specific or unspecific as you want it to be, right? I can go in CrossFit, right? I can go in and journal at the end of the night and say, I deadlifted blank today, and my goal is to be able to deadlift 300 pounds by the end of the year. and then I can go.
To be fair, you can already deadlift 300.
And make, right now I can't.
Oh.
I've lost a little bit of strength, but that's okay. That comes with weight loss. I'm not mad about it. But you can make a plan in order to, and then you can go back to those days and you can see how you're progressing. And that's what I mean by journaling, to reflect and record. Or you can just be like me, and I know there's several other people, even in the martial arts world, but they'll record actual training sessions or rolling
100%.
sessions with specific people so that they can go back and review and do all of those things, right? And so I record my workout sessions for two reasons. One, it's a way for me to be able to go back if I ever decide to redo that specific workout and see if I improved, if I moved faster, if I moved heavier weight, whatever. But I also use it as motivation, not only for myself, but for other people.
You get a lot of feedback for that too.
Yeah.
But you record it not necessarily always from a journaling, but you also record it on social media and video and stuff like that. And your your phone can also work as that. Okay, you don't need to have a notebook. If you want to set up a little mini tripod and you want to record like myself or one of the other coaches teaching a technique, we don't care.
I was going to say, we've asked Jackie a couple of times during women's Muay Thai if we could record her doing a couple of different moves so that we could practice those on our own.
Practice
either
them at home
or
when on your free time before you go to bed. Maybe not before you go to bed.
Or if we show up at the gym a little bit early before class, or if we wanted to stay after class or whatever, right? And it was so that we could visually see how those movements were done.
We always got those fancy little devices that live in our pocket. Might as well use them, right?
Take over our lives.
They have notes
apps
apps on them.
For good.
I mean, they all have notes apps on them. I mean, take notes. We have individuals who come in and they will literally write down what moves that we went over and the steps to remember those moves. And it's a perfect example because, like, if you think about your training, think about your training that you did last week or the week before. Do you remember the last time, whether it came in on a Monday or Tuesday or a Wednesday or whatever it was, what the coach taught? All right, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say you don't. All right, and I'm not trying to like attack anybody here, but that's just, we have very short memories as far as things like that.
Well,
so it's good to have
so much information that we're cramming into our brains.
So it's good to have
life in general.
It's good to have a way to record it, and it's good to go back and be like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, I remember how to do that. And then you think about it. You read through an old notebook, and you find out that some of the things that you used to really like, you completely forgot about. And over time, you'll see your progression. You'll see where you're, especially if you're recording your rolls and being like, hey, and when you're doing this, I have to say this. Record and write down your wins, all right? And the things that you want to improve on, but every day. So if you didn't get tapped out today, all right? Or you got tapped out less today, write that, circle it, and make yourself like a win. You know, give it to yourself. Be like, give yourself credit.
Don't just be negative.
No, like, oh, I just learned an armbar today. Well, I didn't feel great. Well, I was tired. Blah blah blah. And like, no, I got a win today. And it's like, and your win could be, I was tired. My baby was up all night, and I still showed up, and I still worked out, and I still, didn't feel like it, but I got past it.
I still beat up Rick in class today.
Yep, you still beat up Rick in class today. And those are so important because it helps not only your mental health, but it helps you feel like you're making progress. It's like, what's that old quote that you used to tell me or used to say? It's like, if all you have to give is 20% today because you're tired and you gave 20%, then you gave 100%.
You gave your all. Yeah.
You gave your all because that's what you did. So that's the second one is, first one was goals, second one was record, third one is to relax, all right? Because we have so much stress on our shoulders. We have so much that we are carrying with us in the door from work, from stress at home, and every other thing that's affecting us in life, that if you only have an hour to work out or an hour to train or something like that, but you're carrying the entire workload of your day with you, it's really, really hard to focus on anything else.
Yeah.
All right. And so I know saying relax probably triggers a lot of people. Like, you relax, right?
Calm down.
Calm down. Don't tell me to calm down. You calm down. Like, no, it's here's the thing. When you come in there, try to make it a rule that when you step in and you walk through the door, a lot of you probably have heard in martial arts, we say leave the egos at the door. All right. As soon as you walk in, your ego stays outside in your car. Do that with your stress. right? If you come in, your stress stays outside. Leave it in your car. Make like some little like motion with your hands. I'm like, here's my stress. One thing that actually helps me out a lot, it's a visualization technique. I imagine my stress as a backpack that I'm wearing on my back. And whenever I'm feeling stressed out, I physically take off my backpack and I take a deep breath.
It's actually good.
I know, that's why I do it. So it's take off your backpack. Okay, I visualize mine as stress and I think about it being super heavy and I think about all of the things that it contains. All right, it contains my feelings towards my work. It maybe contains my stress with my kids, my stress dealing with my wife. It can have a lot of...
I'm never stressful.
So, and I literally feel myself take it off. I feel the weight of it leave my shoulders and I just take a big breath and be like, okay, my stress is no longer gone. I am focusing on the here and now. The other thing that you can do, it's kind of like a grounding technique. It's one of those things that people do with like when you're having like a panic attack.
Go touch some grass.
Go touch some grass. No, it's... All right.
It's a big thing right now.
Okay, Captain not helpful right now. Captain not helpful right now. All right, the other things that you can do is count to 5. All right, and by 5, I don't mean just count to 5. I mean, what are 5 things I can see and identify? Okay, in this room, I have a camera, I have a light, I have a whiteboard, I have a computer, I have a wife. All right, what are the 5 things I can smell in this room? Or maybe it's 4 things you can smell and 3 things you can touch or something like that.
Oh, like countdown?
It's like a countdown, but it grounds you and it brings you back into like a focus where you're just like, I'm in the here and now. Okay, what can I smell? Okay, what can I see? What can I taste? What can I touch? You know, and you identify all of those things and it brings your body back into like a I'm here, I'm now, I'm not thinking about everything else.
So for me, I use music as my de-stressor. So if I've had a super stressful day at the office and I'm driving to class, I will put on like my favorite mix or my favorite few songs or my favorite whatever that I know. Yeah. In the car.
Absolutely. She's the one that you're going to see in traffic, like jamming out and doing this and
like I'm a
putting on her
person.
whole concert.
But it changed. So this is my whole attitude. And by the time I get to class, I'm in a better mood and my training reflects that. There are still times though where I'm so stressed out or worked up that it doesn't matter what I do, I'm not in a good mood. And
have you tried touching grass?
I haven't. Maybe I should.
Oh yeah, maybe you should. Have you tried calming down?
Oh God. But I do notice that once I'm in class, if I surround myself by the people that I enjoy being around, they'll help pull me out of that, like during warm up or whatever. And so by the time we get to the meat of class, I'm in a better mind frame. And then by the time I leave, I feel de-stressed.
It's something that a lot of people take for granted is the amount of relationships that you make in martial arts versus just going to like a little Globo fitness gym where everybody has their headphones on, or even a CrossFit gym where everybody talks and communicates and things like that. Human interaction in a positive way, being around friends, being around people who are going to joke around with you, really uplift you.
Yeah.
All right. It helps me a lot when I'm in there and I'm just stressed out from the day and I know that I have 2 classes to teach and I have all of these clients and I have all of these problems and things happening with the business, and you just have somebody who comes in and be like, Rick, you gonna spar today or you gonna be a bitch? And just start laughing like, all right, let's go. And then you feel so much better afterwards, right? So that's number 3, that's relax. The next one that we're gonna go over, and this one's kind of a brief one because we've gone over it in the past. Well, maybe not necessarily brief, but it's something that we don't need to put a lot of...
No, because we do have a video on it.
We have an entire video on it.
Recovery.
Right. Right. So if you're going in and you're only able to give 20% consistently because of the amount of work that you're doing throughout your life, maybe you're lifting weights, maybe you're doing more classes, maybe you're running around and playing soccer with your kids because helping them with soccer practice, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Your recovery is going to be extremely important on how well you can put forth effort into making progress in your training.
Yeah, so like the top, I'd say probably like top 3 when it comes to recovery is sleep, nutrition, and
Everybody zoom in on her.
I know, right?
She's gonna smoke out the room. Hold on.
Rest days.
Rest days.
I just hesitate to say those because everybody gets all mad about rest days, but they're so needed.
Yeah, they are.
It just, I have one friend. She never takes rest days ever, ever.
She's
never,
always
ever.
injured too. She's always banged up. She's always complaining. She's always like, oh, my knees, oh, my hips, oh, my whatever. It's like, you need to have rest days, but mental health rest days too.
But I mean, rest days don't, I mean, even in the sense of, they don't have to be like complete rest days in the sense of like
active rest days.
You sit at home and do absolutely nothing, and all you do is sit there in stress and anxiety because you're like, I'm not doing anything. Like,
you can go for a walk.
But rest days do mean like stepping away from the 100% intensity parts of the workouts and allowing your body to recover.
But I think the more important ones are the first 2 that you touched on. Yeah. Sleep and nutrition. If you're not sleeping well, and we made a whole video on sleep, so go back and watch that video. My sleep used to be freaking horrible. All right, and we even in the description of that video added some great supplements that I still use to this day, and I'm religious on, that have helped my sleep immensely. All right, and like, so sleep is a huge one for that. Also, your nutrition. If you're eating like crap, you're not giving yourself, you're like, you have a race car and you're putting, cheap gas in it.
Yeah.
You have to put racing fuel for a race car, and it's got to run off of that. So make sure you're putting the good fuel in. And I swear to you, I promise you with every piece of me, when you get your nutrition dialed in, you will feel like a rock star. And if you want help with that, she's right there. Okay. And for all of our members and everybody, utilize her. That's what she's there for. Okay. So that's number 4. Last one. I'm going to leave this one for you guys. And it's something that all of us do. And there's a healthy way to do it and a non-healthy way to do it. And that is comparing your progress to everybody else in the gym around you. And it's a good way to always feel shitty about yourself, like you're not making progress. Okay. It's actually probably the leading cause of people not feeling like they're making progress is because their comparison is to everybody around them who have like less busy schedules or more time to train or are just,
naturally athletic
or whatever, like Cassie. I'm not naturally athletic, but Cassie is.
Comparison it's hard. We naturally want to do it, but
there is good comparison.
Yeah, there's healthy comparison and healthy competition that's out there, and it's human nature to have all of those, right? In the CrossFit world, we all have those people that we chase during a workout, or we are like, we'll strength train together because we're at a similar level and we know we can push each other. And some days I come out squatting more, snatching more, cleaning more. Some days they do, type of situation. But you have to reframe your mindset into remembering where you started and where you are now, instead of, well, that person still is doing better than me and I don't understand why.
You also have to compare it similarly to the way that a scientist would do an experiment. When I used to work in the science fields, you can't compare things that have, different variables. All right, so if you're comparing yourself and your training to somebody else, you have to also look at, well, how much time does that person have? What is their job? Do I work a labor-intensive job and they don't? Do they work part-time and I work full-time? Are they training 3 days a week and I'm training 2 days a week? Are they 20 and I'm 40?
I was gonna say.
Is like that. All of those things are a big deal. And then it goes the other way too. I mean, I've had people come in here and be like, Rick, I'm doing really well against all the black belts. I mean, I feel like I should be a higher belt than this. And it's like, cool. You're 21 years old and have all of the testosterone right now and all of the energy and, you work a serving job or whatever, and nothing against serving jobs. I worked them, but all of your black belts are 45-year-olds or 40-year-olds that are still like working their 9 to 5 jobs in construction and labor and whatever else at 40 years old, and are still have 3 kids to come home and fight with and,
well, not only that,
and play
but
with
also,
and whatever.
like,
but
what is your definition of working them? Like,
yeah, right. Yeah, it's like, are you tapping them? Or he's like, because you have 20 years, and, but you have a lot of those comparisons that really just go into your brain, and it's easy for you to say like, this person's better than me, and it's like, well, are they though? Because if they had all of the same circumstances that you had right now going on in your life, would they be performing as well as you are?
not only that,
right?
but sometimes I also think that we, because of the comparison, will also kind of fall into allowing ourselves to make excuses.
Oh yeah,
ourselves.
100%. Victim mentality.
Yeah.
It's like, I suck, therefore I'm identifying as sucking.
Yeah.
So
or vice versa, right? Well, I'll never be as good as so and so because I can't commit to that much time in training, or I have whatever. When
100%. I have people do that all the time with me, and they're right. They will never be as good as me. Just kidding. But
you are the master
real.
of your own destination.
It's true.
So make it work for you.
Why do you think we have the name Invictus?
Yeah, I know.
It's literally, and it says it on the banner right in the back, the master of my fate and the captain of my soul.
Yeah.
Comes from the poem. But it's all about that, because martial arts is a journey, but it's a personal journey. And you can't compare yourself to anybody else.
All fitness is a personal journey.
Every bit of fitness, martial arts, and all of that. I mean, I am a 40-year-old black belt right now. I've been a black belt for almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years this upcoming year, or actually sooner than that. It'll be 10 years, and I still have purple belts that push me and blue belts that catch me and things like that. It happens. That doesn't make me any less or make anybody else any, like, it doesn't matter, right? It's just your comparison of yourself over what you used to be that should be the thing that matters. But when you're doing it in a healthy way, like Cassie was saying, finding a training partner, finding people that are very close to you that you can feed off of.
Yeah.
All right. When I was coming up, I had 2 training partners, probably 3 training partners, I would say, that we were always neck and neck. All of us. We were all around the same size, closely about the same size, all around the same age, all around the same skill levels. We were all fighters. And it was always like one of those things where we were just constantly at each other's throats on who was the better one and who was, and we were constant, but it made us all better. I mean, it got to the point where, like, if one of us was sick and couldn't be there that day or whatever, we were stressing out at home, being like, they're learning something, they're getting better, and I'm not getting better. It's like, they're going to be better than me. I'm going to lose pace with them. And then you would text them and be like, hey, what did we go over today? And it became kind of a funny thing, because if I got a text and one of them said like, hey, what did we go over today? I'd be like, coach went over leg locks, coach went over getting out of this. And I'd be like, arm bars and cardio today. That's all we did. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure just go run a couple miles, you'll be good.
Oh, God.
But anyway, so we'll leave you guys with that one. If you guys have any other tips for other people that you want to throw in the comments that you think would help people, this is always a community type kind of video. So we want to hear from you. We want to hear from things that have helped you and things like that. So, and we'll see you guys on the next video.